Hello, fairy finders and fairy seekers. Welcome to FaerieQuest and another episode of Ask the Fairies card reading. This card reading is not necessarily for the upcoming week. It is just a general question that I felt the need to ask. So that question is, we have heard that we, humanity, are in the middle of a spiritual battle between good, and this could be God, source, angels, whatever you'd like to call it, and evil, Satan and demons, and that we, humanity, are in the middle because it is a battle for our souls. If this is true, who is winning as of the date of this reading? And this reading is live as of September 26th. So September 26th, and whenever you happen to see this reading, it will be valid. So I chose cards ahead of time. This is the Lenormand deck, and it is necessary to choose specific cards for the characters, we'll say, in this reading. So I chose the woman for God, source, angels, whatever you'd like to call it. I chose the man for Satan, demons, whatever you'd like to call it, evil. And I chose the child for humanity. So woman, good, man, bad, child, humanity. No specific reason for the choices. It just made sense to me, and that is what I did. And then I put the question to the cards, I shuffled, I laid out the grand tableau. And yes, normally I would do that right on film here, but it's so much faster this way. You don't have to sit and watch me fast forward through the layout of the cards. So anyway, let's see what we have here. And the first thing that we're going to look for, here's the good. Here's humanity. Here's the bad. The first impression I have from this is that we, meaning the good and humanity, are leaving the bad in the dust here. This is a good sign. This is past, present, future. Okay? No specific division here, but we definitely can tell this is past. It's way over here. So this is a good thing. We are leaving them in the dust. That is a first impression here. We also see that the man is looking away from humanity and looking away from the good. We see that the woman is looking toward the bad. The good is looking toward the bad. She's not afraid to look. And she's also looking toward humanity. So there is no fear here. No fear. That means God, source, angels, whatever you would like to call the woman card. The next thing to notice here is what cards are connecting the bad, the good, and humanity. First thing to notice is that when we follow along her row, the good row, we come to the ring. When we follow along from humanity's card, we go this way and up to what's right underneath. And again, so both source and humanity are connecting with the evil through the ring. And this is the ring. What that means is it's kind of like binding the evil with like handcuffs. Okay, it is a binding card, which is phenomenal because it shows that the good and humanity working together are binding the evil. That's awesome. But we also have to look at the evil card and how it is connected to the good, and the child, meaning humanity. So first we'll cruise along here, and we see that the card up above source or good is the clover. Okay. And that pretty much just says that evil is trying very hard to seize the day or gain the upper hand. But that is very short-lived. Even if it appears that they have done that, it is very short-lived. It is then connected to the child through the snake. And we've talked about the snake in previous readings. This is the attempt to confuse and twist and basically annihilate the truth from humanity, and to offer as much toxicity as possible, as much poison to mind, body, and spirit. That is what evil has been trying to accomplish with humanity. The good card, source, God, angel, is connected to humanity through the coffin. This is the coffin card. And what that's doing, what that's saying, I should say, is that the good are ending all the bad for humanity. Humanity is connected to God, source, angels, through the dog card. And that is devotion and loyalty to a cause, to an idea. So working together, this is a good scenario between good and humanity. The top three cards here, we have obviously the man or the evil. We have the mice, and we have the bear. And what that's saying to us is that the bad guys are having an issue because their strength is being eroded. For humanity, that's a good thing. And it is being eroded by humanity and the good. Because if you would go one more card, we have the garden. And the garden is pretty much a gathering place for humanity. So in looking at this, we have evil, erosion of strength by humanity gathered together, community. This is a great thing, okay? So far we have the good and humanity binding the evil. We have the evil's strength being eroded by humanity and the good. We have the good and humanity working together. So you can also say spirit, God, angel, source, etc. Whatever you use to designate good in your life. And if we look at the four corners here, we have the man, we have the tree, and the tree is actually being crushed by the cards above. This tree is main meaning is well-being. So the well-being of the evil is being crushed. This is awesome. All the bad things are happening now to these evil ones. Then the heart and the stork. I'm hoping you can see those. Okay, so the heart and the stork. The heart is considered the house of humanity's spirit. And it is evolving, being born anew, regardless of what they have tried to do. So what exactly happened? And to find that out, how did everything that's going on currently, how did it happen? We need to look at humanity's card for that, and the cards around humanity. Apparently the story goes, communication, which is the letter card, ended. The coffin. With God, source, angels, spirit, whatever you would like to call this. The higher power. How about we do that? So, communication ended with the higher power, the good higher power. These guys jumped in and developed, through the snake, a bunch of tangled lies and poison and all the bad. Consider the snake in the Garden of Eden, the trick that was played on Eve to get her to eat the apple of knowledge, which angered the higher power. So, tangled lies and poison were given to humanity, and that is what they became devoted and loyal to. This was not without design, however. The ship is the journey. The mountain are the obstacles. So this journey with obstacles was necessary. It was important to humanity. Something that we had to go through. So what happened then was that the news, from the card, the letter, the news became even more twisted with more and more lies from the evil ones. And things changed. Things moved forward, but not necessarily for the good of humanity. The point of it was, what the evil ones were attempting to do was to end, again with the coffin, humanity by pretty much using the mountain to pit enemies against enemies. So not only did we have enemies being the evil ones, we became enemies of one another. That was the plan, to make us very much dislike one another and not know how to get along any longer. But also part of this plan was the good higher power being very loyal and devoted to us, to humanity. This has always been a certainty. So it looks like a specific document, okay? Some kind of writing, whatever that is. And, you know, it could be the Constitution, it could be something completely different. We don't know. But it's a document that humanity knows, or perhaps it's a document that will be written up that all can agree upon. That is the key to eliminating any and all evil And the nice thing is we have the lily here. And any card that is below the lily is automatically blessed. And that card is this document, whatever it is. We also have the good higher power and humanity then on a whole new journey together. So perhaps this is likening it to, many people would say, Revelation in the Bible, where you have trials and tribulation for so long and then peace on earth for 1,000 years. Perhaps that is what it's showing. Or perhaps it is the division of 3D and 5D earth. You know, it's something that we're not going to know until it actually happens. Over here, we can't give any information at all on the evil ones because they are not surrounded by the cards they need to be surrounded by. They just have nothing other than no more strength, or strength being sapped, eroded. Their strength is being pooped upon. That's the back end. They are being literally eroded away and bound. But we do have the opportunity to find out what the higher power, the good higher power, is having go on here around it. So let's take a look at that. So we have the fox, the clover, and the heart. And that is saying, pay attention to the opportunity in your house of spirit, your heart, how you feel. Chances are, according to them, is that you're feeling very alone, kind of in the dark, with the coffin, without your higher power or source. And it is creating frustration, mental agitation, a lot of gossip, things that, you know, you really don't want. And what the higher power is saying here is that humanity's devotion is a much loved gift to this higher power. They are also saying that it is wrong what has been buried and hidden away from humanity. And they are asking you to grow quickly. Take advantage of the opportunity to join with this higher power, to make this higher power your actual friend. Not an authority, not somebody who puts forth regulations and restrictions, but your friend. This is not the Old Testament higher power. And they're saying that love can bring a lot of excitement through expectation of the good to come, the evil being bound. And that is the invitation that they offer. Be a part of that. They're also saying to outfox the evil ones while you're standing with this higher power is a gift to both that higher power and humanity. The passion, the love, of this higher power is for humanity. That couldn't get much clearer, that message. So even though, as we see here, humanity was led astray, obviously, by these evil ones, we are apparently very trusting individuals. I get the impression that the plan, this twisted evil plan that was played on humanity, began in the Garden of Eden. That's how long ago that all of this was planned, up to current day. And all this time, the good higher power has been with us. But again, humanity has free will, so they cannot force us to see. So we need to have no fear and eyes wide open if we're going to save our soul. Otherwise, we're going to be the living dead. And our souls, this is what the poisoned soul looks like. Our world will look like this. Desert, dead things, or at least the skeleton of what used to be real essence. So if we look at the fate line then, we have the rider, the book, the tower, the clouds. And what this is showing is there's news coming in. That's what the rider is all about, news coming in. And it's all about the facts that have been hidden on this journey from humanity. And it concerns, those hidden facts concerns those who humanity has always thought has been in charge, or thought that they voted in charge, the ones who put all the regulations and restrictions and that kind of thing on humanity, even though they really do not have that power. So stormy weather is on its way for these guys, which is again going to continue to erode their strength. We are coming together, and this is huge. So in essence, the question that I asked about this spiritual battle for our souls between the good and the bad, we're in the middle of it because they want our souls, meaning the bad guys. So I said, if this is true, who is winning as of the date of this reading? And it is obvious that it is the good higher power and humanity. Let's keep this going. They're a thing of the past. We are the future. Notice that the snake is actually looking away from humanity, which means it is losing its power. So there you have it. There is the answer to that question, and I am stoked by this information because it looks like our human souls are going to remain intact, at least for those who have no fear and have eyes wide open. Thanks for joining. We'll see you again next time. Take care.